So our Space Saver cupboard collection now comes with black lids, which I love. So I thought I would take the opportunity to just run through all the different sizes and the sorts of things that you can fit into them.
Okay, starting with size 1 then. The sorts of things I put in mine are maybe the smaller packets of things, so like dried mushrooms, I've got some pine nuts, I've got some dried saffron there. I was lucky enough to go to Turkey and managed to get a decent quantity of saffron, so I've popped that in there. Flaked almonds, I've got more with different sorts of nuts in, but so you can buy them singly or you can buy them as a set of 4, and there is a saving for a set of 4. Okay, just to explain how they all fit together, this is size number 4, this is size number 1, so if we have 4 of the number 1s, they sit neatly alongside a number 4. So when you're stacking things away in your cupboard, you can use every bit of available space by stacking one on top of the other. Similarly, if you have 2 2s, they will stack and make the same size as 4 1s. So simple maths. And talking of number 2, number 2 is probably one of the best sellers. It's used for so many different things. In here I've got 500 grams of raisins. I just bought a kilo bag and I've put half of it in there just to show you that that's 500 grams of raisins, so especially with Christmas coming up, if you're keeping dried fruit, that's useful. Similarly with dates, I've got 500 grams of macaroni there. Because it's smaller, you can obviously get more in. If you buy the pasta that's bigger, then you might need a bigger container. I'll come on to that in a second. And one of the most useful sizes, of course, is our bag of sugar. And this is a kilo bag of sugar, and that fits nicely inside number 2. And just the same with number 2, if you buy 4 as a set, there is a small discount for buying 4 at a time, although you can buy them singly. Okay, moving on next to the number 3 size. We had 500 grams of macaroni in the number 2, but when you get something that's slightly bulkier, we've got some shells here. It's going to be a little more space. So that fits perfectly. 500 grams of shells fit perfectly in a number 3. Similarly, I've got some orzo here. I use quite a lot of orzo, so there are a couple of packets in there. This one's also been chewed by my dog, who thought it was a chewy. Couscous, again a couple of packets in there. And brown rice, I'm about to pop in this one. I have bought a kilo, so a kilo of brown rice really needs a number 3 container because it'll be just a bit too much for a number 2. Okay. And once again, for a set of 4 size 3, there is a discount on the website. Again, another very popular size, size 4. Moving up in capacity, you can get a 1.5 kilo bag of flour, like I have in this one. I've got 2 kilos of sugar. I've got icing sugar in this because I tend to use quite a lot, so I've chosen the bigger container. It obviously depends on how much you use of these things, not just the size of the bags, because the bags come in different sizes too. And then also there may be slightly larger again pastas that won't fit into a size 3, or maybe a kilo of oats that will fit in a size 4 as well, just to give you an idea. And of course, once again, for a set of 4, there is a discount on the website. And now moving on to size 5. This is probably most useful for the bulkier things if you keep a lot of rice or for cereals. And just to give you an idea, this is a 700 gram box of cereal, which I'm just going to pop into this one without pouring it all over the worktop, hopefully. see 700 grams of cereal just about fits into a size 5. And once again, if you buy 4 of them on the website, there is a discount. Then we have the rounds. This one with the flat lid is especially useful for spaghetti, but it could be used for a number of other things, such as breadsticks or anything tall. The nice thing about it for spaghetti is it comes with a little spaghetti measurer, which you might just be able to see on the top there, which will measure 1 or 2 portions of spaghetti for you if you click it in place and you don't pour it all over the floor. So that's that one, and what you'll notice with this one is it has a blue lid because at the time I'm making this video I haven't had the black lids in yet, but there is the pouring version, so if you wanted to put oil or any sort of liquids in, then that might be a useful container to have as well. But they will all come with black lids, not the blue as in this video. Next, moving on to the squares, this is the 1.1 litre, which basically contains the same volume as 2 of the number 1 size ovals, and of course they do stack together nicely as well. So that's a really useful container if you want something nice and shallow, where you don't want something to be squashed by having too much depth. And moving on to the square number 2, this one is basically like having 2 lots of 2, plus a little bit more. I think the volume is just a tiny bit more, but once again they all stack together nicely, and it just depends on whether you want maybe a pouring lid or a lid that you take off. And whilst I'm mentioning pouring lids, I should have mentioned earlier, the ovals come with lids that open either with a small opening or with a slightly larger opening. But of course the squares, you have to take the lid off completely. And the other really useful thing for the number 2 size is it will store 24 Weetabix. I have been asked this before, so that's a really handy size for Weetabix. Then the last one, size 3, the largest of them, is really useful for things like crackers and biscuits, that sort of thing, but equally larger volumes of maybe sugar, flour, rice, something that you maybe want to put a scoop into to scoop out rather than pour, and I'll come on to the scoops in a moment. Then of course in the same range we also have the spice containers. You have a set of 2 high or a set of 2 low. One side you can sprinkle and the other side is just an opening if you want to pour more out. And just to give you an idea of size, if I can get the lid off, this is just a normal spice jar that you'd buy in any supermarket, and you can in fact fit contents of one of those jars into the low size, as you can see there. Okay, moving on to the sets now. This is a really popular set. On the website it's called the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 set, which means you get 1 of each of the sizes basically, and it's quite a nice way if you're starting out and making a collection to work out what you can put in which container if you're not sure, before you actually build a bigger collection. And now we have a new set which is just new in the catalogue, and this one is 1 of the 1s, 2 of the 2s, a 3 and a 4, and when you buy this set you also get a set of 5 scoops, which can be really handy. For example, if you're taking flour out of a container, you may prefer to scoop it out rather than pour it all over the floor, which is what I do. And the other set is our number 2 set, again new in the catalogue. You get 2 of the squares, the 2 larger squares, so number 2 and number 3, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the ovals, along with a set of 5 scoops. So I think you'll find we have something to fit most things. If you're not at all sure, you can always ask me. And what you'll also see on one of them is that I've been writing on mine with a Sharpie pen. But the good news is, in the next couple of weeks, I'll have some proper labels for sale as well.
And if you want to know when I produce more videos about the new special offers, if you click the subscribe button below, then as soon as it's live on YouTube, you'll have a notification.